Hello there, my name is Dan and I have a background in computer science, and I've studied and worked on several projects involving AI or artificial intelligence. In this video, I want to cover 5 of the biggest myths that often confuses people about AI as a whole and what the future may hold with AI in it. So jumping right in at number 1 is the idea that AI will cause people to be out of a job. This is one of those ones where there is a short answer and a long answer. And the short answer is eventually people will lose jobs because of AI, but the long answer is that they will gain new ones as a result of AI, just like all the other main revolutions over human history. In the short term or the next few years, the main thing that AI will achieve is complementing your own career, your tasks, and make things easier and more efficient to get things done. Eventually though, AI will become so efficient that it will likely replace certain types of jobs, either manual jobs which they've already been doing such as in the factories, but also some very repetitive data related tasks. Like most extreme views, there's often a slither of truth in it, and that's also the case here. AI will replace certain tasks, but people often over-catastrophize the long-term impact of events such as these. If you look through human history, you will find that in all of these main revolutions, such as the Industrial Revolution or the Computational Revolution, you will find that initially people were fearful about certain tasks and certain jobs being replaced, which actually ended up happening. But most of these lost jobs were replaced with new ones, often more intellectually or creatively stimulating. When computers came around, if you take a simple example like an accountant, rather than having to do everything on paper manually and in painstaking detail, you could automate some of these processes using a computer. Initially, these computers were relatively simple calculators, but in modern times, these form very complicated applications such as Microsoft Excel or other spreadsheet applications. The same is true with the internet. If you think about it, certain jobs were lost in industries such as retail, but at the same time, new ones were created, and it's opened up a whole new world of online shopping and online marketing. Print media has been slowly replaced by digital media, and AI is now going to bring the next wave of innovation in a lot of these areas. Even more than this though, entire industries and jobs will be created that right now we can't foresee, but looking back in hindsight, it will be quite obvious that it was inevitable. I think a classic case of this is what the internet has created with social media and influencers and content creators. Only 30 years ago, it would have been almost unimaginable to think that people would quit their jobs and become millionaires just by creating content and posting things online. But like I said, in the short term, most of these AI tools are not going to replace your job, but actually make your job more smooth, more efficient, and probably more quick as well. But there are other technologies such as GitHub Copilot, as well as some of the new Copilot features coming or already existing in Microsoft. Rather than coming back to work from holiday with 500 or 1,000 unread emails, Microsoft's new Copilot features will allow the software to summarize everything you've missed in a few short sentences. So moving on to number 2, and this one's a bit more dramatic, but people still fear this possibility nonetheless, and that is that AI could take over the world and create an army of robots or some kind of sci-fi related outcome that will cause people to suffer. So there are so many movies such as Terminator, AI, iRobot, and so on that depict this kind of future, but there's a few things that I think people don't think about which makes this far less likely. Firstly, the main thing that underpins AI is the algorithm, and most of the advancements that we've seen in AI is because of certain improvements within AI algorithms. While algorithms are very powerful, they impact the digital world far more than the physical world. Even though we spend a long time consuming digital content such as social media, the main thing that AI tends to do, as well as all the other algorithms, is it impacts the psychological state of us much more than the physical state. This doesn't make it any less significant, but it does mean that a far more likely outcome over robots patrolling the streets with guns and causing us to do what it wants is the computers or the algorithms will get a lot better at optimizing for a particular outcome, such as planting an idea that will in turn make you buy a particular product. You could argue that this will be a form of manipulation, but it will be psychological and subconscious rather than forceful and physical. The other thing to understand about this is that AI has no inherent motivation other than solving the problem that it was designed to solve. We often associate AI thinking in the same way that humans do, but AI, unlike humans, don't have these inherent drives such as survival, reproduction, power, control, or status. If you take away these drives from a human, then this person becomes something entirely different. The next myth is that AI or ChatGPT will make things such as reading and writing less relevant in the future. In my opinion, the very opposite is true, because applications such as ChatGPT rely on a very important and fundamental concept. That is, the quality of the answer you get back from the AI is directly proportional to the quality of the question that you ask it. Therefore, as these AI systems improve, it shifts the focus away from knowing all the answers yourself to being able to ask the right questions and how you can clearly and effectively articulate them. So if you want to be able to ask the right questions in the right ways, you have to have the background knowledge, the language, the ability to articulate yourself, read and write, and so on. If you think about it, the depth at which you're able to articulate yourself is in large part down to the depth of your curiosity, but also the breadth of your vocabulary. The more words you have at your disposal, the more clear, concise, and accurate you can be in the questions that you can ask, which in turn will give you more accurate answers. The reality is, in order to be able to develop these skills, such as the skill to articulate yourself, will really come down to how much you read and write, which in turn is the very thing that people think AI will solve. The fourth one in the list is that people think these chat systems such as ChatGPT is inherently unbiased and inherently accurate. Even though it might seem that the content that the AI system generates is unique, the reality is that the content itself is based on the particular dataset that was used to train this AI model. This AI system was initially fed and trained using a huge dataset which consists of web pages, books, and even images. So if this dataset was skewed towards one or more political ideologies, then this will be captured in the responses that the AI system later goes on to generate. Even more than this, if you become reliant on AI to generate very specific, accurate data, you could be let down because AI isn't inherently infallible. This just means that AI can and does make mistakes along the way. So if you've spent any significant time with things such as ChatGPT, you've probably noticed that sometimes it will spell something wrong or even return a particular fact that isn't actually true. So I think the takeaway here is that if you attach your reputation to the very things that this AI system generates, then you could actually be let down or damaged because the AI will make a mistake, which can later affect your career or your very reputation as a whole. And the fifth and final one is that people think because of the recent advancements in AI and things such as ChatGPT, then AGI or artificial general intelligence is right around the corner. While AI might feel like magic because most of us don't fully understand or comprehend it, the reality is AI is nothing more than one or more sub-branches of mathematics such as statistics and probability. Most of the recent advancements that we hear about regarding AI is within one of its subfields called generative AI, and this often is built on a particular technology called transformers. Transformers use a statistical approach to predict the next term, in this case word, in a sequence. In effect, this is like a fancy autocorrect system, and as we all know, sometimes autocorrect gets it wrong. Now that might sound very technical, but what it means is that most of the recent trends that we've been seeing, such as ChatGPT, can only go as far or has a ceiling as high as what transformers are actually capable of. Now AGI or artificial general intelligence is usually the thing that we associate with the future or the sci-fi movies, where it feels like that AI is its own separate entity where it can think. It might even seem like it has consciousness. But in my opinion, I think it's extremely unlikely that if we do get to the point of AGI within our generation, that it will be done using the same transformer technologies that we're using currently. In a way, you can think of it like an advancement in a field such as molecular biology doesn't mean we're going to have an advancement in a field such as astrophysics. So that's it for this video. I tried to cover 5 of the most obvious myths within the field of AI, but if you have any further questions, feel free to let me know, subscribe if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next one.